Hello everyone, today we're going to be working on the injection pump on this ALH engine, and I have a slight leak in the back here. It's coming from right here, this seam right here. I'll start it up for you guys and you'll just see the fuel slowly seep out of here. So what we have to do is take this part off first. These are T30 Torx heads here, there's 3 of those. And this is the special head here, which I have a special tool for. I'll show you that in a bit. And there's a seal on the top here as well. Mine's not leaking, but I'm going to replace that anyways. And after we get this top part off, we can take these other 3 screws off as well. As you can see, this bolt here actually goes the whole way through and connects both pieces together. I have this kit here. Here's the part number. It includes all seals you need for the injection pump, but I'm only going to use a couple of these. And I'm going to go ahead and replace this fuel temperature sensor. A small little guy in here, I'll show you that. And here is the special tool you need to remove this bolt right here. It actually has a triangular head on it. It's hard to see that, but if you look at the tool itself in the package here, you can see it looks like a triangle. So that slips right over there and allows you to remove that. You see the fuel seeping out of here, it's all wet now. It's coming right out of here, running down all along. Go ahead and fix this. Okay, before we get started here, get some old rags, set them around here because you're going to have diesel fuel spilling all over the place once you remove this. And but first we're going to clean it. We don't want any dirt getting inside there at all, so let's clean the whole outside of this thing. And what I'm going to do is shoot some of this stuff on there. Some short bursts of this stuff here, wipe it down, and then we can proceed. Okay, before I proceed any further, I'm going to get something sharp, and what I'm going to do is put some marks right here in between this top part here and the bottom of the injection pump. So right where the seam is here, where it was leaking at, there's a rubber gasket in there, and this thing has to go on exactly the way it came off. That's why you need to mark it. It's very important. So make a few marks over here, maybe one here, and maybe one around here. Now if the seal on the top is leaking for you guys, you don't have to worry about marking anything. Just take these 3 screws off, the anti-tamper bolt, and you can just simply replace that seal, put this back on, and you're done. But in my case, I have to mark this thing since I don't have the computer software to dial this thing back in, I'm going to get it as close as I can. So that's why it's very important to mark this so it goes on the same exact spot. This is the most critical part about this job. Alright, I want to show you my marks here before I go any further. I actually got a yellow paint marker and put some marks with that as well. And you can see where I scratched that there. Same with over here. So hopefully that paint doesn't wipe off with the diesel fuel, but it might. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is disconnect this rubber hose from this hard fuel line here. Simply squeeze this in and slide this down and then wiggle this rubber hose off that hard line. Alright, get your rags ready now because the fuel is going to come out now. Alright, now it's time to go ahead and remove this top cover. So this here is the anti-tamper bolt. You need this special socket for. It's triangular shaped. This slides right over here perfectly, nice and tight. And you can use a 1/2-inch socket or 13 millimeter will work on that. Remove that. And then these other three here, you'll need a T30 Torx bit to remove those. And here is the T30 bit. This is what it looks like. You can see T30, and it fits in here nice and snug. It's important to use a good quality bit when you're removing these. You don't want to get anything cheap because these things here will round off and it's not worth it. See, this bolt is pretty long. It actually goes all the way through the top cover, the quantity adjuster, right into the injection pump itself. Okay, get your rags ready because you're going to have some fuel that comes out of here. This line right here, we're going to leave it connected. No need to disconnect that. I'm simply just going to flip this up and rest it on top of here. Get another rag here. Alright, so just grip it there. There we go. Alright. And there's the top seal. So we'll gently get a little pick. I'll show you what I have in mind here for this. And be careful, do not score this aluminum cover at all. That'll screw up your seal. Okay, and this is what it looks like inside here, fairly clean. And I'm also going to replace this little guy right here, which I bought a new one. That's the fuel temperature sensor. I figured while I had this off, I might as well do it. It's this little guy right here. Okay, here's the mini pick and hook set that I got from Harbor Freight. There's the item number. It includes a 4-piece assortment here. Any one of these would work. I'm probably going to go with this guy right here to remove those seals. Alright, we'll take our pick and we will gently underneath the seal and break it free. There we go. Got it started a little bit. Alright, and grab it with your finger and slowly pull it out. Okay, make sure you don't have any rubber residue left behind inside that little groove there. Mine looks pretty clean. And just throw this away after you match it up with a new one. Okay, I pulled these two new seals out of the kit here that I purchased. And here's the old seal I just pulled out of the top cover. And this is it right here. This is the new seal for the top cover. As you can see, it looks to be the exact same shape. And this one is for the quantity adjuster seal to the pump body. So we'll use this in the next step. So I'm going to go ahead and use this and put it in the groove in that top cover. Okay, a little tip. I started this end in here first with this little tab. That's where I started at, if you remember when I pulled the seal out. So start there and slowly work your way around, making sure that this seal fits nicely in the groove. Okay, that part's done. On to the next step. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to do is replace this fuel temperature sensor right here. There are actually two little screws that hold those in, and you have to use a T10 bit here. This Torx. Okay, so this goes right in here and fits in there nice and snug. So we'll go ahead and remove both of these now and remove the sensor. Okay, I got the first screw removed. You can see it's very, very tiny. Just make sure you don't lose them. Okay. Now I can gently remove this little sensor. Okay, now this is the top, you can see, and the bottom looks like this. There's actually a difference. You can see the silver part there is actually deeper. It's recessed deeper compared to this side. So this is your top. Just make sure you put the new one in that right way. Okay, here's the new sensor. Slowly drop it in here. Like so. I can go ahead and put those screws in there. Alright, the temperature sensor is back on, nice and secure. We can go ahead and put this top cover back on, but don't connect the fuel line. Just put it on, put the screws in, loose, hand tight, And then we'll go ahead and disconnect these other three and remove the quantity adjuster. Okay, the top cover is back on. These are just hand tight, these three screws. Leave this bolt out, and now we can remove the three down below here. Now once you have those out, don't forget this is still attached here, this cable. So if you want to get more slack, you can take this out, take this bracket off here so you can pull it away a little more. I might do that, I'm not sure yet. We'll see how much room I have, but I'd like to keep it attached if I can. I'll just swing this whole unit up and towards me and support it here while I remove the seal. These screws are actually a lot tighter than the top cover ones were. Oh, great. Okay, so I'm actually going to go ahead and remove this bracket here to give me a little more slack in this cable. This is a T25 Torx bit here. So I'm going to go ahead and get this off of here and give me more room. Okay, this broke free. I'm going to lift it up towards me. And you can see the seal underneath here. Now again, we'll use that pick tool and be careful not to get any sort of debris in here. And also when we go to install this, this part here has to go right back down inside that hole, that motor shaft, as you can see it right down there. So make sure that lines up when you install. Okay, I was able to get this seal off here. Simply just pull it out and away. Okay, I'm going to install the new seal now. I'm going to start down here where this little triangle is, right here. Start there and just work my way around. Okay, the new seal is in. Looks pretty good. Make sure everything's clean. I don't have any dirt anywhere. Now, for the tricky part, we need to line this shaft up with this hole as we insert the quantity adjuster back in. So just take your time with it and be patient. Okay, I have it back on here. I'm in the middle of just putting the screws back in, making sure everything's just hand tight for now. And then I'm going to go around the back here, look at my marks, and actually move this whole unit left or right to get it as close as I can. And then I'm going to go ahead and prime this pump through this hose here. I have a junk piece of fuel line I'll put on here and dump some fuel in. Alright, I have everything hand tight. So I have this thing lined up to the best of my ability. The marks are lined up. They actually stayed on there pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten everything down. These get torqued to 7 to 10 Newton meters, which is about 5 to 7 foot-pounds. Alright, before we attempt to start, we're going to prime this pump. So if you get some 5/16 fuel line, slides over there nice and tight. And I have a fuel filter on here, and a little funnel at the end here, so I'm gonna dump my fuel in here and let it go right in there until it's full, because we lost a lot of fuel when we opened that up. Got my glass of diesel fuel ready to go. Alright, everything is back together. Fuel line's on, hose clamps on, and I'm ready to start. I lined this up the best that I could. Everything's tight. I put the clamp back on for this cable here, that's on. So I'm still going to go to my buddy's place. He has VAG-COM, so he has the software to dial this thing in, because I know I didn't get it exactly the way it's supposed to, but I can drive the car. So thanks for watching, guys. Hit that like button, please subscribe.